Can foreigners purchase property in Mexico? Yes, absolutely. Non-Mexican citizens can purchase property in Mexico. Foreigners who buy real estate in Mexico have the full protection of the Mexican law. There are some restrictions along the borders or coast called restricted zone. Under Article 27 of the Mexican Constitution, foreigners cannot own property within 100 kilometers, 62 miles of the border, and 50 kilometers, 31 miles of the coastline. There are two ways to get around this restriction: through the use of a trust, fideicomiso, or through a Mexican corporation. Under Article 27 of the Mexican Constitution, only Mexicans by birth or nationalization or Mexican companies have the right to acquire property in Mexico. Under this same article, foreigners may acquire property, but only if they agree before Mexico's Secretariat of Foreign Relations to consider themselves as nationals with respect to the property that they purchase. They also bind themselves to not provoke the protection of their government in matters related to contract non-compliance or property forfeiture. Therefore, outside the restricted zone, foreigners can obtain direct outright ownership of property by deed or escritura and have his or her own name on the title. The Mexican government requires a waiver agreement for purchase of real estate, also called SRE permit. This agreement has to be signed by non-Mexican citizens and it has to be entirely transcribed in the deed. Mexico applies the Calvo Doctrine. The Calvo Doctrine is an American doctrine of international law. It states that those living in a foreign country must make their demands and complaints submit to the jurisdiction of the local court, avoiding the use of diplomatic pressure or military intervention in their own state or government. In other words, if you buy real estate in Mexico, you agree to the following provisions. 1. Submission to Mexican legal jurisdiction. 2. Application of Mexican law. 3. Waiver of diplomatic protection in your own home state. Article 27 of the Mexican Constitution reinforces the provision of the Calvo Clause.